Alright guys, welcome to Python Basic Exercises. Here is a question number 1. Write a program that prints given string letters in its reverse order. So how do we achieve this problem with Python programming language? So let's say I have a string called s is equals to Python here. So if I want to access individual letters separately, how could I access this? Let's say if I want to access the very first letter called P, so I can access this way S of 0. That means it is a 0th position. It is the first position here. It is the second position here. It is the third position. It is the fourth position. It is the fifth position. So if I'm trying to run back my program here, say it is P. So if I want to access the last letter over here, let's say the print of S of -1. So basically it's if it is a positive, it is coming from left to right. If it is a negative, it is coming from right to left. So from right side, it is called -1. So if I'm running back my program, it is N. So if I'm saying that again, S of 1, so it's a Y again now, it's a this. So same way we can actually going to access every letter and going to be print in reverse order. Let's say if it is about a little bit lengthy string like Python with data science. So in order to access each letter, hope you already have an idea. Now we can access through the indexes. So first of all, I wanted to know the length of that particular string. So that actually I'm going to loop those many times so that I can actually able to access each letter. I can append that to the empty list, which I'm going to create right now. So if I say here the print of S of, let's say, first of all, let me know the length. As I said, yes, so it is saying that 24 length. That means if you just count it down, it is definitely each letter, including the spaces, it is 24. So if I wanted to access the last letter, I can say that here, S of 23. Now it is going to be the last letter, E. So why can't it 24 in sense? So indexes. So if you're trying to use indexes, if you are trying to use indexes in sense, here it's a 0th position, it's the first position, it's the second position, third position, like that. But it is starting with 0. If it is starting with 0, definitely it's going to be n-1. So if you're trying to use indexes, you should keep it in mind that index starts from 0 to n-1. So here in this case, it's 0 to 23. So because the length is 24, but the index is not starting from 1, index always starts from 0. So if it is starting from 0, definitely it's going to be 23. So even if you count it down, it's a 24 length. The length is actually starting from 1. But if you're trying to access through the indexes, so index always starts from 0 and ends with n-1. So we came to know the length is 24. So here I'm just trying to comment it because we don't need that. So the ultimate thing is we need to print each letter in a reverse order. So it is like Python data science. We need to get an output as E, C, N, E, I, C, S, space, A, T, A, D, like that, so on. So in order to achieve, I'm taking an empty list over here as it. So I'm taking a for loop because see, we cannot print. It's a very bad idea to print each letter through accessing the wise indexes. So sometimes if you have a very big paragraph, it's very hard for you to write it like this and accessing it and printing up all the letters. But if I write a simple for loop is something that it is going to loop as many times that we want it. So I'm looping over here. I'm taking a range call. So -23, okay? Because we know that the position for this E is minus 23. Yeah. So I mean to say it's a 23 position because I'm taking a range as minus 23 because it's going to loop in a positive way. So first time it is looping, it is taking minus 23. Next time it is taking minus 22, like that. So I'm taking here as a 0 here. So if I'm taking colon over here, bad, let me say here to 0. Hold on a second, guys. So as we need to use the for loop over here as I said, so we need to have I in range. In is a keyword one more time. Say, so we're looping up for 23 times in fact. So what I need to do, L dot append. Append is a method. So we can going to append every each letter to the list. So what happens here if I say S of I? So S of minus I, because see, the very first time it is taking minus 23. Minus 23 into minus of minus 23, it becomes plus 23. S of 23 is E, and we're going to add that E over to this empty list. So the first time it is E, comma. The next time it is going to be minus 23 plus 1. So it's going to be minus 22. So the next time minus 22, minus of minus 22 becomes plus 22. The S of 22 becomes C here. This is a letter, right? So it is going to be appended to the list over here, that is C. So C comma here. The next time minus 22 is already done. So here it is again minus 22 plus 1 is equal to minus 21. So because it is actually taking a step of 1 all the time. So when we take a plus 23, so it is going to be increased to the 24 and 25, 26 like that. But we do not have those indexes. We need to come back to the reverse order. So that is the reason I'm taking to minus 23 to n minus 1. So 0 minus 1 becomes minus 1. So till minus 1 it reaches, it's going to loop those many times. So it's basically coming this way. So if I'm trying to print this L over here, so I'm running back this program. Now it's C, E, C, N, E, I, C, S. And there is a space afterwards, and space again here, A, T, A, D. Again there is a space, and a H, T, I, W, and there is a space again, N, O, H, N, O, H, T, Y, and there is missing another one. So what we have to do, we need to have a zeroth position because this is a zeroth position. What we can actually do here, take a minus 1. So minus 1 becomes 0. So when it comes to 0, S of 0 becomes P. So now if I'm running back my program, if I'm running back my program over here. All right, just a moment. Hold on a second. So it has to be 1 not 0, because if I say 0, 0 minus 1, because it's basically like 0 to n minus 1 as I say. So minus it when it reaches 0, so it is minus 1. In fact, we do not have a minus 1 over here anyway. So what we have to do is we have to keep it 1 here. So 1 minus 1 becomes a 0. So because it is not going to take the 1 index, so it has to be less than 1. So it is going to be a 0th position. So S of 0 is going to be P. So basically it's going to become P as well. So if I'm running back my program, this is an output. So even if you give any kind of string over here, so it is going to do the same thing. If I take, let's say, Python, and comma I'm giving up here. Let's say if I'm giving here Django, it's a framework. It's a framework, right? Then if I say data, let's say data analysis, let's say it's a pandas, numpy, scipy, scikit, learn, or if I say machine learning, right, then it's giving us 2 dots over there. And if I'm taking here modeling, so anything if you give, it's going to become. If I'm running back my program, say everywhere, so let me save it this, hold on a second guys, it's definitely 113 letters from this given string. Yeah, so hold on a second. So when I'm running back my program, the problem is here we already checked 23 for the last example. So we know that it's a 113 letters in my given string. So what we have to do, so we need to say here 112 less than 1, right? Then we can take this one as well, same. So if I'm running my program, say you know there is a space here. Of course, the space is also counted. The comma again. Then there is a dot. See the dot. See the dot over here. Right. So again, there is a G. The before this dot, and I. So we assume that no. Python. It has to reach the very first letter as well. So let's say if you're adding more letters here, even if you're adding numbers, right? The numbers is also in the form of string because you put it under quotations over here. So if I'm saving it back, if I'm running it back, it doesn't know these things are there because we started at 112, but the length of my given string is 143. So let me do one thing, 142. So because we need to reduce 1 from this 143, then it has to reach this way. And I'm running back my program. Say the space, if you look at back here, at the end, there is a space, right? Then there is a 4, 3, 8, 4, the same thing which is got printed. So it is good to have this, few lines of program in the Python to be printed in this way. So best of luck, and we're going to see the next question in a while. Thank you very much.